Just 15 years ago, mobile phones, smartphones with applications, they were not that popular.
For now, you have to work backward and you have to decide, okay, this once I'm going to build this feature, how I'm going to sell it.
Platforms are really strong.
Calculating the complete carbon footprint has many criterias and different verticals.
Slow nudges
Yeah.
allows us to slowly create or craft a better world.
Ways to create the awareness for to the customers and the end users.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Singula Talks. My name is Grigory Petrov, and our guest is Shahood Siddiqui, CTO at One Tech Capital. Hello, Shahood, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Gregory. Thank you for having me.
So, let's start with a quick recap of your career path in technology and what are you doing right now?
All right. So, I was not a geek, not a tech freak. I started my career as a backend engineer after completing my graduation, and then gradually moved to the mobile development because, like at that time, mobile was at the peak, mobile application development. And then I became the lead mobile developer at my firm, and then I decided to move to Middle East in 2016. So I started my career like it was a reboot for my career. I started from the scratch again after moving, after the migration, and started. It was a family group, and there were so many things, many opportunities, completely offline business. They wanted to do a digital transformation, so luckily I was at the right time, and I somehow I can say I was lucky at that time, like I joined at the right time. So I got the opportunity to completely digitalize that organization. And we did a lot of things. We launched together B2B e-commerce. So it became the biggest B2B e-commerce of Saudi, and later it became the biggest e-commerce B2B e-commerce of Middle East. Then we did B2C website for coffee, everything related to coffee, and we started a SaaS platform over there. So four or five digital platforms under the same roof. And I left that company in 2022 as a CTO, and joined One Tech Capital as CTO and moved to Dubai. So yeah, here in One Tech, I'm managing right now two portfolios, two startups, um, slightly different from each other, but like when it comes to B2B, like the core is the same. So one is Coffee app, and the other one is All Up. Coffee is all about the coffee industry. It's a super application, and we provide all solutions, including B2B SaaS that is related to F&B. And in All Up, it is a fitness SaaS solution. It's being used by many gyms all around the world. So yeah, that's all about my career. Yeah.
I'm a coffee person myself, and guess what I have
You
in
do?
this big mug of mine?
So,
Of course, it's some tasty coffee. I really enjoy it.
so
And
you are a espresso person or filter coffee person?
oh, that's tricky. Actually, all my friends and technical persons here in the Netherlands, we have a great coffee culture, lots of brands, lots of
Hmm.
way to prepare coffee, and often we meet in The Hague or in Amsterdam, and people go to some specialty coffee cafe, and they asked me, "So, Grigory, which type of coffee do you prefer?" And
Mhm.
you know what? I really prefer milk-based drink.
Oh,
I enjoy it. Then barista brews some tasty latte macchiato or cappuccino, or in the Netherlands there is this special coffee type called coffee verkeerd, which
oh,
is
I never heard about it.
somewhere
Yeah.
in between latte and cappuccino. So milk-based are my cup of tea.
Okay.
And mobile development, yeah, actually, 30 years ago, when I just started with IT, there were no mobile phones yet, no these fancy modern devices, but we did have these Palm computers like Palm Pilot, Casio computers, and I was a big fan of them. I collect them, I tasted them, I tried to write software for them. Yeah, that was in the middle of 90s. After that, of course, I did my share of Android and iOS development, and now Singular team, the company I'm with, they are out staff, and we help our clients with both backend, front end, and mobile development. And I can say
Amazing.
that the modern mobile development is a thing, really huge industry with lots of ways to create mobile applications. We can go native, like old way native with Objective-C and Java, or new way native with Swift or Kotlin. And we even have lots of other options for offering our
Like
mobile
Flutter.
application.
Yeah.
For example,
Flutter
with
is now becoming very famous. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, with a Flutter or other cross-platform offering. So, Shahud, you have mentioned that there are two platforms that you are doing right now, one for sport and another for coffee. I'm not a sport person, but the coffee person. So, can you explain for me and for our viewers what does this platform looks like for both businesses and for the end users?
Sure. So, Coffee app started with a single marketplace application. Name is Coffee app, COFE app, and we are operating in like 5 countries right now. Our biggest market is Saudi Arabia, and then Kuwait, and then UAE. What we provide all the brands, all the F&B brands that sell coffee, right? So if you are a coffee person, we want you to not think about any other application, just use coffee, because you will find all the options and in one place. In the marketplace application we were the pioneer of having the subscription model. You can subscribe a coffee drink, because normally you as a coffee person, you can understand that if you are having coffee from X brand, you will always prefer to have, because you like the taste and you like the whole experience, so you always use the same brand. So that's the idea about the subscription of the drink, and you can order coffee using the application. Of course, at the same time, you are getting rewards. What we started with the subscription, you are getting like a straightforward 50% discount on your monthly drinks. At the same time, we use Siri and we use Alexa to make life easier to order coffee, right? So you can just use your Apple Watch and order your coffee, and then barista gets the notification and he prepares the coffee. So just imagine you are driving and you want a cup of coffee. You just use, because you already paid upfront for your subscription, so no need to go through with the payment, etc., right? So You just order with your watch and you go and collect your coffee. So that's how simple it is. And it was an idea, it was the vision of our CEO, and then we implemented, and we face a lot of challenges. And after some time, that we realized that okay, every brand wants to have their own identity as well, right? So we provided that we have a beautiful framework that we built for a marketplace. So why don't we just use it for the big brands as well, right? So then we started discussing this whole idea with the brands, and then now we are live with 5 or 6 biggest brand of this region, who are using our framework for their customers and with the same feature list, right? So with the same experience. So at the same time, we are also, these are about the drinks, and then the biggest domain for us under coffee is e-commerce. Like we sell coffee beans, everything related to coffee. If you want to prepare a coffee at your home, whatever you need, all the equipments, all the accessories, we supply. We make sure that you get delivered in like 1 or 2 hours. So the operation side of the e-commerce is also very interesting. And we are operating in all 5 countries with the e-commerce as well. um, yeah, so that's it. Like this, that's all about our coffee.
By the way, which way to offer mobile applications do you like? Do you prefer the native way or maybe Flutter or something else?
All right, so it's like as a CTO, like I'm like always in a position when I have to decide like okay, which platform or which architecture, which framework I have to use for a new startup or new company. So for me, like it's not an easy answer, because there are many criteria to decide like which framework or which architecture you want to go with. But for me, like specifically going native is only an option when I want to use like specific features of iOS. For example, like if I have to use Apple Wallet, right? So Apple Wallet is, with the integrations of any reward system, or there are many use cases like if I have to integrate with fitness SDKs of Apple. So many limitations are there are many limitations, and I have to use native, fortunately or unfortunately. But for me, like having the right experience or crisp of the experience for the customer is really important. So if there's any compromise using Flutter, then I of course reject Flutter. But again, there are many users. I can give you one example, right? So the application that is being used by the trainers of our fitness platform. So I don't see any any specific limitation to not use Flutter, right? So I decided to go with Flutter for the trainer application. But for the customer application, I always prefer, because there are certain things that you don't know. Maybe Apple will launch next year. At that time, I don't want to be in a position that I have to rewrite everything for the native, right? So yeah.
Flutter is an amazing technology, actually our favorite. Of course, sometimes we blend with our clients' like landscape, like they come to us and, okay, Singula, we need a few Android developers and a few iOS developers. Do you have any? And yes, we do. But some of our clients, they come to us with an entire package, like, okay, we want you to create all the application and please use the technology that you think is the best. And for the last few years, Flutter is really such a thing. It's cost efficient, and the language itself, the Dart language, it's so special. Actually, do you know that this Dart language, it was developed to replace the JavaScript? Originally, it was intended for web browsers, so everyone will throw out JavaScript and use only this Dart language. That was the idea behind it.
Very interesting. Yeah. So I'm trying to explore Flutter more and more, and now I'm becoming a fan of Flutter as a framework. And sooner or later, I know like there will be many, especially like when you start a new idea, it's always better to start with Flutter, to invest on one single platform and just build an MVP and then see, because now Flutter is also exploring and like introducing new and new methods year after year. So it is becoming a no-brainer to start with Flutter. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. The language didn't take off as a JavaScript replacement, but these ideas to write widgets in code, this library of ready-made widgets and an ability to write systems not only for web but also for mobile, that took off and brought us this amazing Flutter framework that
Yeah.
uses the Dart language as a great DSL. So developers can construct beautiful UIs with just a few lines of
Yeah.
source code. That was not possible 20 years ago. I do remember my first attempts to create mobile application.
The
Oh,
UIs.
all
Yeah.
this, yes, all these UIs and XMLs and moving items with mouse. That was not very software developer.
Yeah, yeah, especially like the animations on mobile, when I used to write the complete animation, and there were not many libraries were available for graphics at that time. But now, thanks to God, like things are getting easier so that we can build faster and go live faster. So that's the objective ultimately, right? So for the tech startup, yeah, yeah,
Code is the one true way, a great medium to express ourselves as software developers. But
yeah.
Singular Tech interviews are not only about technology, but also about business. So let's discuss the Middle East startup landscape that you are in the middle of. What has changed since COVID and the recent years from your point of view?
Right. So I started my career in Middle East like from 2016. So, but at that time, for sure, like the landscape was not very much friendly. The whole ecosystem was not ready for startups, and it absolutely not supportive as well. There were not was many third parties available at that time to help you grow faster. There were like couple of e-commerce setups, e-commerce startups at that time, and suddenly like right before COVID and during COVID, the lifestyle of everyone got changed. People started using e-commerce, like they started getting familiar with the e-commerce experience, and their SLAs and their expectations becomes norm from the e-commerce, right? So this pushed the business as well, certainly, to meet the expectation of the customers. When the customer was accepting the fact that okay, my parcel will be delivered in 5 days, and suddenly they are not expecting even like 2 days delivery and expecting the same day delivery in a country like Saudi, was very challenging for the business as well, right? So you have to optimize and you have to rethink the whole operations from the scratch. And this actually happened during COVID, that the expectation becomes different. The users, the growth was tremendous, and the revenue of any offline company becomes more when they go online, right? So the transformation of a lot of offline organizations in Saudi and UAE happened during COVID, right? So they decided to completely go digital, and at that time there was like the huge demand came, and then like uh, it become like a sustainable and stable after that. Yeah. So as I said, like because of the lifestyle of end user, it transformed the whole ecosystem, and the demand and the investment, and a lot of companies started working on many different domains.
Yeah, and all these advances with traditional offline businesses going digital, one-day delivery, mobile application, loyalty programs, new ways of doing business, they are possible now because everyone, literally everyone, have their smartphones which are connected to the internet, always connected to the internet, and everyone uses apps. Just 15 years ago, mobile phones, smartphones with applications, they were not that popular, and they were not in everyone's pockets. But now it's our new reality, new way for people to do things, and these new abilities allows us to create new ways of communication, new way to buy things, to buy services. But yeah, the COVID, it's
I also want to add one more thing here, right? So when government started using the applications for the vaccination just to keep people, right? So this transformation actually enabled everyone. Like for example, if you imagine, like when the people were not even prefer to have smartphones. I'm talking about like lower middle class or lower class people. There's a huge number of population that were not using smartphone, and suddenly government when the government made it mandatory, so they started using it, and then it becomes a normal for them, right? So they started using other applications as well when they got the smartphone. So this actually also push the whole ecosystem to target different audience altogether.
And what are other changes for business during and after the COVID time? Did anything change, like how you approach business, how you scale, how you calculate your revenue, how to put emphasis on growing or on making money or on putting features into production fast? So, what are the consequences for your area of business?
Yes. So now, in terms of like profitability, becomes the most important factor for a business after COVID, right? So post COVID, there's another trend, like because of the economy, the global economy got impacted because of COVID. So but it's not all about like having more customer acquisition would be the only criteria, or judging only based on your revenue. So profitability becomes one of the biggest criteria to for the investors. So of course, the mindset that was only going towards burning money on the marketing now becomes different, and how you can basically make the returns or the profits out of every decision. So for me, like when I was working in multiple companies and managing different or becomes the decision maker of many features. So my process become different after COVID, because for me, like every feature is an investment of a company, right? So your resources will be working on it, your decision makers and your leaders of your company will focus on those features to sell to the market. So every feature, before, there's not like you just have a scrum meeting, you decided, okay, I need this one feature, and then it will go live and no one knows about that feature and it becomes shelved. For now, you have to work backward, and you have to decide, okay, this once I'm going to build this feature, how I'm going to sell it, And if I'm going to sell it, if the market is ready or the buyers are ready for this feature, and once you have like all the checkpoints tick tick tick, then you onboard the engineers and start working on that feature, right? So I like the idea of like working backward, which enables you to build the right features all the time, right? So you get the acknowledgement from different sides of the business, and then you start working on that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I can also see these trends within our staff clients. For example, within the last few years, I can see a growing demand for the Ruby programming language just because it provides an ability for full stack development for both backend and front end within capabilities of one engineer, and that allows businesses to implement features faster and to reduce the amount of communications. Like in the traditional way, we do backend and front end separately, and now and after that we need to communicate with each other with all these REST APIs, gRPC, GraphQL protocols, scheme,
Yeah.
Swagger, synchronization,
Microservices, Kafka.
microservices, yeah, backend for front end, and this adds costs.
Yeah.
Communication costs, team costs, management costs, synchronization delays, yeah, and businesses are aware about these costs now and want features to be delivered fast. By the way, from the perspective of company management, CTO, C-level executive, how does this new mindset affects the company? What do you do differently now from the top level perspective, from your strategy point of view?
So, and especially in the tech startup, the role of the CTO is he is the core driver of the organization, right? So, of course, CEO is the main person who is navigating, but if the CTO, for especially for the tech startup, when you are dealing with the SaaS technological platforms, so he has to take the responsibility of navigation as well, right? So, in terms of especially when the CTO is responsible for the product as well, right? So because you have to make sure that your features and your technology is up to the mark, so you have to be responsible for all on all sides of the business. So this is one of the I think one of the biggest change, because I used to work in an family group, family business before joining here. Over there, there were like 50 to 60% revenue coming from complete offline businesses. And when I joined here, everything is related to your efforts, right? So when I joined One Tech, so all the startups are tech startups. So if you are not going to build in the right way, and when the company is not going to make any revenue out of your deliverables, then of course it will impact on the whole company. So there's no way out. Every day matters, especially in startups, and every decision is very important, right? So because your decisions are going to cost a lot of money if it is wrong. So but it should not stops you to keep trying different stuff. I think if you stop trying different stuff or stop innovating different things, then of course you will be stagnant, right? So and your company will not grow after that. Yeah.
Exactly. Software eats traditional businesses in unusual ways. For example, here in the Netherlands, there is a little housing shortage right now, so people are building new houses, big apartment complexes, and I closely watch them for some interesting offerings. And what I can see firsthand, like around me in The Hague, a new big building is being constructed, and they have a website around it. And this is a special website with also a mobile application dedicated to this particular building construction. And as a possible client, I can get all the information, and I can apply for buying or renting an apartment just within this website. They shows me all the required information. They collects all the papers, and basically such a traditional, very conservative business as constructing homes, selling and renting them. It's digital. And as a software developer, I can see that they use the same platform. So there is some company that provides them with this platform so they can construct their website. So different construction companies can create websites for their properties and allow their clients to do their thing easily and effectively. And this is what you do, your platform for coffee companies to serve their clients, your platform for sport companies to help their clients. Platforms are really strong like right now. A new business opportunity that's like 10 years old. And let's shift our discussion a little bit toward doing software development in Middle East. We already discussed how the Middle East startup landscape looks like, how it has changed during the COVID, how management is different now, and how would you describe the technology culture in Middle East? Software developers, the way we hire them, manage them. What are some specifics that are of interest to you and you want to share with us?
So, especially if you talk about Dubai as a region for software development, I think the most important part is diversity. It allows you to have a team, completely diverse team. You have people from the Eastern Europe, you have people from like Central Europe, Central Asia, South Asia. So this people are coming from US as well. So they are this allows you to basically get all the flavors and all the different mindsets, all the positive energies from different regions, and then I think this allows you to deliver faster, to deliver the right thing. There are many factors that if I compare like having a complete remote team in different from and managed from different countries, then comparing people in one single ecosystem or one single country that allows you to basically bring all the talent and have the talent here at one place, there's a huge difference in outcomes, right? So of course, if you compare the output, maybe the features will be the same, but the outcome, like when you feel that okay, your feature is live and is available in different places. So every team member brings the energy, gives you the input to build fast. He when he becomes the user of the application or of the platform himself, so he also gives the input and goes the extra mile to deliver fast. So as a CTO, it is like really important. If you have the budget, if you bring all the team members in one country or one place, the outcomes are different. At the same time, like now, because of the whole transformation, what is happening in Middle East, they are enabling the tech startups to build the whole ecosystem. If you compare 2016 versus now, there was no one, like there was no co-working space at that time in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. So there was no mindset of like having engineering team or having development team or the product team. There was no mindset of having a product as a role, right? So people doesn't understand the difference between the product manager or project manager. So it was like a single mindset of hire a project manager and he will get things done from remote teams, right? And outsource completely. And very like this transformed rapidly post COVID, when everyone pushed each other to basically build the complete ecosystem, right? So there is a very healthy competition between Dubai and Riyadh at this moment. So both are building the ecosystem, which is flourishing the whole software development and especially the tech startup. Yeah.
Lots of sensitive topics there. I do remember a few years ago, I have read the latest book from Nobel laureate Kahneman. The book, it is called The Noise. It is his second big book after the famous Thinking Fast and Slow. So in this book, The Noise, Kahneman explains that despite our brain being prone to stereotypical thinking, if we arrange a number of people and ask them the same question, each individual person, they can be wrong in different random ways based on their background, upbringing, education, way of life, experience. But if we take some amount of people, they will be wrong around the correct thing. And groups of different people can create something which is surprisingly correct. That is the foundation for how we can utilize this diversity principle. And more than 15 years ago, the Singula team as a company, it was founded by two software developers as a place for 100% remote work. It was in the DNA of our company to be diverse, remote, and we hired talents from all over the world. And that was our business, and that is our business. We hire software developers, we teach them, and we contract them out to our clients. Now, my colleagues works from all over the world, from different countries, and of course, we are fighting with different time zones. That is challenging, but on the other hand, we can assemble our teams from people with different points of views, with different cultures, and that allows us to create great solutions for our clients. And by the way, our company is 100% remote. And what is about your company? What do you think about this remote or hybrid or 100% office work? Which way of working with software developers do you prefer?
All right. So, of course, 100% office is not an option, right? So, otherwise, you cannot like manage or deliver anything. My team is working across the world. I have like people working from like Central Asia, Europe, and South Asia. And there are different time zones, so I need to find the right recipe to basically get the right output. But there are a lot of people, there are a lot of team members who are working from Dubai, from here. So um, personally, my favorite recipe of this for this question is like to work hybrid, because like if you're working completely 100% from office, there are disadvantages, especially the traffic is one of the most important thing, right? So you waste your time at least couple of hours just for the commute. um, but if you are working 100% remotely, you will miss so many things, right? So the personal understanding, the personal friendship, the lunches, the coffee breaks, knowing more about each other, playing table tennis. For me, like if I work um, at least 1 week completely remotely, I the first thing I miss is that playing table tennis with the team, right? So this is really important for me to just bring back the energy, because like in sometimes certain meetings just shut down your mind, right? So you need a complete different thing during your working hours to just bring back the energy, and then go further and finish your day. So that is why, like for me, my personal favorite is like working completely on hybrid mode. um, at least 1 or 2 days should be scheduled, and that's how I'm operating, right? So 2 days are scheduled for everyone to be mandatory in the office, so that at least we feel the a working together experience. And rest of the 3 days you can work remotely. If you want to come, you can come, but it's not mandatory to be there, right? So that's how we are maintaining and managing. But a lot of like resources and people are working, of course, from their own country, right? So it is hybrid.
Yeah, organizing remote work is challenging. Time zones is one such challenge, and the other that you just mentioned, that we people tend to flock together. We need to feel that we are working for the same company, for the same projects. We want to see each other, and it's extremely important. And we at Singular Team, we put lots of efforts to organize the good remote work experience for our colleagues. We teach them how they should use cameras during their calls, how it is important, how they should organize some private personal space dedicated only for work, how they can schedule their calendar, so they have this isolated work and private environment that will not pollute into each other. Yeah, that's very challenging, especially to our recruitment department that need to not only search for talents, but they need to search for talents who will work remotely and not
Yeah,
burn out. That's not an easy task to do. By the
I
way,
agree.
this hybrid work that you have mentioned, there are lots of ways to organize this hybrid work, lots of details. So please share with us what do you think is most important in organizing such a hybrid work? What are your personal preferences? What do you look at?
So my if you really want to have a very smooth operations without having like restriction of working at the same time, because we cannot, right? So if you're working in different from different time zones, you cannot expect everyone to be available at 9 a.m. in the morning, right? So of course people are going to miss stand-ups, people are going to miss different meetings. But for me, the biggest like which I take it personally is to remove all the blockers. Uh, the blockers of any software development cycle, right? So if someone is blocked in terms of thinking what features and how it is going to be built, I will navigate and I will focus and work with them just to prepare the requirements and the features list in the right way. The right documentation will make life easier for everyone. If you answer all the questions from day one, of course there shouldn't be like any blocker. Of course, the Scrum as a framework helps a lot. There are certain standards where you can like discuss internally before building features. It also helps like to get the input, but when you're building a SaaS platform, where it's not only about building new features, all about deployment to the new clients because of SaaS, right? So you are onboarding the clients and you are deploying, and then you are getting the feedback from the client itself, and then doing the change requests. So there's a lot of things that is not normal if you compare with a normal feature development life cycle. And keep delivering with a hybrid mode is definitely very challenging, but here you just need to take the ownership. As a person, I can give you like if you are a team member and you are not taking a complete ownership of one challenge, then maybe you are not going to continue with us, right? So that's how we manage, right? So every person has to take the complete responsibility of delivering certain things, because we are talking about multiple brands at the same time and multiple clients. So even I can give you one example. Our lead QA is not only the release manager, but he makes sure that he do all the configurations that is required to deliver a brand's application, right? So he can work as a backend engineer if it is required. He can review the code if it is required, and he can fix certain things. So everyone has the complete access. It is not allowed to have a discussion that I am responsible for mobile application alone, and it is my responsibility, so don't basically work on this side.
Yeah, organizing hybrid work is really important, and there are lots of different ways to do it. We don't know how to do that correctly, but we can try different approaches and see what works for our businesses and for our clients. And the last thing I want to discuss today is the topic which is hot in Middle East, that is sustainability. If we ask some random IT people, what can you say about Dubai? They will say that, oh, it's hot, it's high tech, low taxes, and sustainable. And at least one of your businesses, the platform for everything coffee, is heavily linked with the sustainability question. So how does this sustainability trend affect your businesses, your clients? How do you do it in Middle East, and what do you think about it?
Perfect. Thank you for asking this question. So here, especially in Coffee app, um, as I said, like we are providing a platform, a framework to food and beverage businesses, big brands, to use our technology for their clients and interaction with their clients. With that, we started working in the direction of building the complete technology where brands can enable their clients to contribute for sustainability, right? So it looks very simple, but believe me, it's not. When we are talking about like showing the carbon footprint for a cup of coffee that you are drinking. So it starts with where the green beans comes from, right? And then how it gets to the roasting house, and then after the roasting house, the packaging, and from packaging to the store itself, and then you get the cup of coffee, right? So to calculating the complete carbon footprint has many criterias and different verticals. So this is challenging, and we are trying to make sure that to at least educate everyone, at least in the domain of coffee, that how much carbon footprint is required to get a cup of coffee. And if you want to contribute and if you want to give back, there's a process, there's a way to contribute and rounding off, and there are many different processes where customer can give back for the carbon footprint. At the same time, we help businesses to audit their carbon, right? So we created a platform where they give all the information, and we provide the right carbon footprint number. And then there are different scales and different criterias in this domain. We are trying, and not only in the coffee domain but also in the fitness domain as well. We can calculate the customer that if you use this gym instead of another gym, how much it will impact, because you are going to use any commute, and the commute is going to basically consume the energy that will end up adding the carbon footprint. So there are many ways to create the awareness for to the customers and the end users in this direction. Yeah.
This is one of the new ways that software
Yeah.
allows us to do. Software which provides communication and information that glues physical things with information. Now we can instantly receive additional information on what impact do we have, and we can make our choices. Now we have this additional layer of information, the sustainability information within our apps that you develop, that we develop for our clients. And this information slowly steer the entire world toward more sustainable feature by making people attending gyms that are more sustainable, and other gyms, they are trying to be more sustainable in order to attract more people. Like really slow nudges
Yeah.
allows us to slowly create or for craft a better world. I think that concludes our interview. Thank you, Shahood, in our studio with Singula Tech interview. Our host, Grigory Petrov, a software
Thank you.
development, and Devriel, and our guest, Shahood Siddiqui, CTO at One Tech Capital.
Thank you.